Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. I really do football content. It's not really my niche. Even though I love football, I love the game, but I don't really know all the tacticals and stuff. So I just, take a trip for football content. But I saw a podcast clip, Joel Beya, the resident delusional Arsenal fan of your Ferdinand's show. I like Joe because the way he analyzes football, even though he's delusional, but all round, I just like the guy. And then Lescott, the former league winner with Manchester City, and our own Igbo brother, Nedum Onuoha, or the British guy of Igbo descent, Nigerian descent. He was speaking about why he couldn't play for Nigeria, the backstory behind it, and everything. I want us to watch the clip. There are things he said that I actually agree with, but there was towards the tail end, there are things he started saying that I was like, no, 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 bro, you're actually missing the point. You are missing the plot. It's so obvious. So I want us to watch the clip, then we'll take it from there.
So you were approached to switch nations to play for Nigeria. What made you turn them down at the time?
So through my career, there's lots of things like which I look back on and I wish would have done something differently, even though in the moment it made perfect sense to me. So coming through at City's Academy, being a City supporter, nothing was more important to me than playing for City. And this is the time when I think Mancini had just come in. I'd played the last game under Mark Hughes, who was the previous manager. I was very much part of his process. Then all of a sudden Mancini came in and I wasn't. Like, shout out to like Dedrick, a friend of ours or whatever. But Dedrick was in the reserves. Then all of a sudden Dedrick was in the first team playing ahead of me. And it was weird. He found it really, really weird because it was like halfway through the season. And at the time, there was going to be an AFCON coming up. And the manager was getting in contact with me.
Take a break.
And he was saying he wanted me to come down to it.
Like,
And for me
I understood
personally,
where he was coming from when he was
I
talking
see myself
about
as different people because I am Mancunian, I'll say that, but I'm very much Nigerian. Nigeria is home for me. If I'm in a room full of people from Nigeria, I feel like I know every single one of them. That's just how it is for me. Something about the culture is like, that's my family, that's my bloodline, that's what it is. But from a football standpoint, I remember thinking, right, I'm currently not playing at City here, and I'm going to go away for 6 weeks in January, from January time. I'm going to come back, I'm going to have nothing. And I was like, I don't think I can do that.
Okay, let's take a break. Like, I understood where he was coming from when he was talking about losing his place in the Man City team. He was trying to break in. The AFCON came during January. I understand perfectly because he made a very decision for his career. He's either going to the national team, for Nigeria, or losing his place. Like fighting chance to become a starter in the Manchester City first team in the 2010s. I understand, just like they according to Mikel Obi, the way Conte actually provided him with two options, either go to the Olympics and don't play and then stay. And he was like, man, at this point, I've won everything with Chelsea. There's no need to having this automatism. I have to go represent my country. There's N'Golo Kante already, so basically I've lost my spot. So it's better I just go represent my country. You get? So I understand that kind of situation I've been put into. And I think as a young person, maybe that was what he felt. That was what he felt that was, I don't know, was like necessary for his career. I can understand that. Because you can't tell somebody that is fighting for his sport to just go away for 6 months. I kind of understand because Nedum, he was a very decent defender, not like he was elite, but he was cool. So that to that point, I understand where Nedum Onuoha is coming from. So let's keep watching.
People saying, "Oh, you do it, put yourself in the shop window, this, that, and the other." It's like, nah,
And it was different back then as well. It's not like, you see now players can go away to like an AFCON or something like that, and it's a platform now. It wasn't really.
They were saying it was. They were saying it was. But again, as a young person,
what year was that? Didn't you? 2010.
It's around then, yeah. It's 19,
I don't even remember like the way it's documented now. I don't even know what channel that would have been on. It wouldn't have even been on television.
It's just people look down their nose at it now with more coverage, but people still would look down their nose at it then. And I think at the time there were a lot of like African players who had to be like exceptional, otherwise they'd just be replaced. Because now they say, well, I don't know if I'll sign you because you go away for 6 weeks every couple of years.
You had to be at Eto.
And it's changing. Obviously, it's changing to every 4 years now, which is causing some sort of issues. But I said I need to focus on the side of things of staying at City. Stayed at City, didn't play anyway. But what made it worse was like this is a family friend now, relatively speaking.
Yeah.
But someone like JJ Okocha, with the influence that he has, and to be fair, John Mikel says a little bit as well. They put me in this bracket of people who would rather like beg to play for England than choose to play for the homeland in Nigeria. And once you're painted with that brush,
there's no point.
You're done. Because for perspective, like obviously England's very passionate about football, as is Nigeria, but Nigeria's like population's over 200 million people.
Yeah.
And when I say they're online, they're online.
Yeah.
So even in me talking about this now, I know what the comments and stuff are going to be. And as I retired, like I regret not playing international football. And if I'd have had a chance to do it for Nigeria, I know how much it would have meant for people like me.
Yeah.
But, you know, the decisions I made in that time are the one that felt right.
The perspectives are different now as well, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like you're a different person. So
Nah. This is where I fought him because, you know, this is something like Callum Hudson-Odoi and Nketiah. They are almost approaching their prime, 27, almost 27, 28. They are still waiting for the English call-up. And by all indications, it's not going to come. But the problem is that these people, most of these players, wait for when they are, when they are in the later stage of their careers, and they now want to represent Nigeria. Like if you have made a decision to wait for English call up, whether it comes or not, stand by it. Don't come years later because I'm seeing the picture. Something like Callum Hudson-Odoi and Nketiah will come 10 or 15 years later to tell us how they actually wanted to play for Nigeria, but it was also like, bro, how can Nedum Onuoha, how can even Lescott say that? Even Joel Beya was agreeing with them. How can Lescott say that in the 2010s, AFCON wasn't big? It wasn't a big platform. Like, come on now. What are you saying? You are saying that he had to be Eto to just play. People like Danny Shitu played in the 2010s. So what are you telling me? So this is not an excuse, Nedum Onuoha. And I find it very, very offensive, even though it's not a big deal. But I find it kind of offensive for Lescott to even suggest that was even showing on TV in the 2010s. Like 2010 World Cups. I mean, like, what are we saying now? So Nedum, you wanted English call up and it didn't come. So live with that decision. If you are counting it as one of your regrets as an ex-footballer, I understand. But trying to say that AFCON wasn't as big, yes, everything gets better within the years. But in context, around 2010, saying AFCON wasn't big, like bro, like around 2010, I was a teenager and AFCON was like pretty big. Everybody was watching AFCON. 2013, Nigeria won the AFCON. So you cannot tell me Nigeria, like you had almost 10 years of your prime to switch nationalities or to switch allegiance to play for Nigeria. You can't tell me that 6 weeks of the AFCON that you couldn't, make in 2010 was now the accurate representation of all your career. Your career has spanned in QPR for like 10 years. Ajayi is playing in the lower leagues, but he's playing for us regardless. So you can't tell me that if you actually wanted to play for Nigeria, there was enough chance. And after Yobo retired, 2010, 2015, we needed reinforcement in the back line. So there's no way Nedum Onuoha wasn't actually getting in that team. Before Omeru and Obabunabo, is that 2010, 2011, 2012? There was no way if he actually wanted to play for Nigeria that he wasn't going to get a spot, even on the bench, at least to start. Because yes, Danny Shitu was good, but I don't think Danny Shitu was way better than Nedum Onuoha. In fairness to Nedum Onuoha. So I just think this is scope. And Lescott coming out to say that he's not sure. They were showing on, like, what are you saying, bro? It doesn't make any logical sense. So Nedum should just leave with his decision, and this is gaslighting, telling us AFCON wasn't big in 2010. It's pure and prime tactical gaslighting.